I'm Rachel Zebar. I'm doing a third grade video field trip on rocks and minerals, and I was wondering if you could help me out.
Yes, I can. I'm Phil Whitmer, and this is Joshua Tree Earth and Space Museum, owned by my uncle, Terry Boswell.
Awesome. Okay, so I had some questions. Are sieves still a common tool used today when looking up rocks and minerals?
Or what?
Sieves when they, am I saying it wrong?
I'm a little hard of hearing. It's hard for me.
Sieves like,
Oh, sieves.
yeah.
Yes, they do. They use those for panning gold. We're just out in Arizona a couple months ago, and down in all the washes, everybody was sieving for gold, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, so
They
they
also-
still use them today?
Pretty common, really. And out in Arkansas, that girl, the high school girl, found that diamond. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh, yeah.
She sold it for like 25 grand or something. She
Wow.
found it. Well, she found that on the surface, but people do sieve there all day.
Neat, that's really interesting. And I was wondering if you could tell us about the size and shape of rocks, if there's anything that differentiates them one from the other.
Most of our rocks that we find, they're brought down by the glaciers. These are cup stones. This is a good example of your average granitic rock. Brought down by the glaciers from Canada or the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And they're rounded from being in the water and rolling around. And so you can always tell the glacial rocks. And of course the sedimentaries are in layers.
Like this one right here?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's an Indiana rock. And crystals, they each have their different form they grow in.
It's I can see all the different ones over here. Are these crystals or quartz?
A lot of these, this is like fluorite.
Okay.
It grows in a cubic shape, and we've got some more fluorite there, it's cubic. And a lot of times, like calcite, it'll be double terminated, so it's pretty obvious to spot that, but it does have different shapes to calcite does. Quartz is about all the same, shaped about the same.
Okay. And do the characteristics of rocks vary to different mineral combinations?
Yeah, depending on what's in it, it will give it different qualities. Like almost all rocks are a combination of different minerals. It'd be different hardnesses, different. Be sparkly or shiny or the texture, whatever.
Okay. And then, are there certain rocks and minerals that are more prevalent to Indiana than other states or regions?
Yeah, Indiana, we have limestone is the only native rock is limestone, sandstone, and shale. Everything else is brought by the glaciers.
Okay. And then, does this hold true to other states and regions of the U.S.?
The
They all have-
Midwest, where we had the glaciers, not so much out west where they had no glaciers.
Okay. And then, are there some rocks that are easy to distinguish and others that are more difficult?
Quartz is pretty easy. It's almost always the same. And there's a lot of smaller crystals that look like quartz, but is not quartz. This one is hemimorphite, which I would guess quartz. So there are a lot of them that do look like quartz, but aren't quartz.
Okay.
And that's true of all minerals and crystals.
Okay. And many geologists classify rocks and minerals by their physical properties of hardness, color, luster, and streak. And then, can you elaborate more on that?
That's just more like what they look like, and yeah, you pretty well covered it there. And then they can take them in and analyze them and find out every element that's in there, do like a chemical analysis. But the actual physical characteristics, that about covers it.
Okay. And then, are there other important aspects of rocks and minerals about like fossils?
Yeah, fossils, of course, give the record of evolution from the Cambrian all the way up to the Ice Age. And they have certain layers. When you're digging down, you find these index fossils. That's how they date the layers. So they're pretty important for dating your rock layers.
And can you tell what kind of animals and species lived by fossils?
Yes, you can. Usually you can use the internet. There are a lot of good books. Mainly we use the internet, or we just get somebody in here that knows what they are and he tells us. That's the easiest way
Okay.
to identify stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, are there any other interesting facts that you'd like to share with us today?
We've got a lot of fulgurites here, which is caused by lightning striking the ground. We've got a really good collection of those. Just all kinds of things, like we have a wave fossil down here, from southern Indiana. It's either a lake, probably a beach somewhere down there. And we've got an extensive meteorite collection, comes from the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter.
Oh, wow.
And we've got some interesting shatter cones from the ancient meteorite crater in Kentland, Indiana, over there. When it hit, it made a little volcano-shaped rock, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much
Thank
for your time.